Hi, I'm Brad Klontz, and I'm a workaholic. Look, if you work hard, things are gonna go pretty well. Your boss is gonna love you, you're gonna get raises, you're gonna get promoted. But did you know that working too hard can become an addiction? And it can have devastating effects on your life. In this video, I talk about the psychology behind workaholism and why it's so important for you to maintain a healthy work-life balance. In fact, it can be a matter of life or death. Hey, if we're just meeting for the first time, my name is Dr. Brad Klontz. Let's get right into it. Workaholism is being addicted to work. It's kind of like alcoholism, except the focus is not alcohol, it's work. Workaholics feel a lot of anxiety when they're not working. It's really tough for them to shut it down and enjoy themselves. It's often a family disease where parents will pass it down to their children, and sometimes it even comes from grandparents or great-grandparents. I struggle with workaholism in my own life, and I definitely inherited it from my father, and he inherited it from my grandfather. One day, my father told me that he had worked 100 hours last week. Now, that's a lot of hours, but what he told me shocked me. He said that he felt lazy compared to his father. The funny thing is, I had worked 70 hours the week before, and I felt lazy compared to my father. This was really a light bulb moment for me, and I realized there's something crazy about what's happening here. I later learned that my great-grandfather was even worse. When he was in his 90s, he couldn't walk. He had really bad knee problems. So what did my great-grandfather do? Well, every morning he would crawl, literally crawl out of the house, and he would go over to the tractor where he would pull himself up, and he would then work on the farm in that tractor from morning till night, every day. He did this all the way up until a couple weeks before he died. Now, that's pretty intense and probably a little bit crazy, but I gotta tell you, I look at him as sort of a hero. And that's one of the seductive parts about workaholism. In our culture, we look at workaholics as heroes. Unless, of course, that workaholic is your parent or your grandparent, or, goodness sakes, your spouse. So I have this workaholic drive in me, and I wrestle with it every single day of my life. Wow, and how about these smartphones? This is like crack to a workaholic. I mean, be honest, how many of you are, I know what you're doing in the bathroom, you're working. I know what you're doing staying up late at night, you're working on your phone. You've got a problem. Come on, I know you do it. This is a safe place. It's really okay to admit. Now, if you want to see if you have symptoms of workaholism or other money disorders, I've got a link to a money disorder test down below. This is the test we've used in all of our research studies, so check it out. You can take that test for free and the results will be emailed to you automatically. The problem with workaholism is that we get rewarded for it. We get money for it. We get promotions. We get attaboys. In fact, we might even brag about how much we work. You think you work a lot. I worked 15 hours yesterday. While your boss and business partners will probably love you if you're a workaholic, they're probably gonna be the only ones who love you in the end. Studies show that workaholism destroys relationships. It also keeps people from being able to fully enjoy themselves in their lives. The children of workaholics end up being resentful. I mean, they're growing up with the absence of a parent. Workaholics end up breaking promises. I mean, they fully intend to go participate, let's say in that sporting event, but they get so wrapped up in work, they can't leave the office. Or they might miss a recital or even a birthday party. These are very deep wounds for kids. The husbands and wives of workaholics, it's really tough for them too. They report feeling estranged from their partner and also feelings of resentment. Studies show that workaholics, I mean, even the workaholics who love their work, end up feeling more anxiety, having depression, having marital problems, and even health problems. At its worst, workaholism can actually kill you. In Japan, they actually have a word for death from workaholism. It's called karoshi, which means overwork death. They've identified it as a public health hazard. The major causes of karoshi are stroke and heart attack due to stress and actually not eating well. So if you recognize that you have some workaholic tendencies, here are 4 tips to help you get a good work-life balance. Tip number 1, examine your own family history around work. You've heard about workaholism in my family. Well, what about for you? Where did this drive to work at the expense of everything else? Where did it come from for you? If you don't know, then do some digging around. Interview your family members about their relationship with money and try to get some insight into your parents' relationship with money, or even your grandparents or great-grandparents. That desperate need to work and that anxiety when you're not working, It really does come from a logical place, and if you look into your family history, you might discover why. Understanding your history can give you some perspective, and it'll make it a lot easier when you decide to start doing things differently. Tip number 2. Take the rocking chair test. Now, I absolutely love this one. Picture yourself in old age, sitting in a rocking chair on your porch. Now, as you sit there, reflecting on your life, where do you wish you had spent more time? Do you wish that you had spent more time working with Excel spreadsheets? Or how about time at the office? Or do you think you'd be wishing you had spent a little more time or a lot more time with the people you love? The rocking chair test is a great tool to help you get in touch with what matters most. Now, I have a client who is a workaholic in his 30s, and unfortunately, in a terrible accident, he lost his young son. Now, 20 years later, he's haunted with the memories of his son asking him, "Am I gonna see you tonight, Dad?" Now, see, he was a workaholic, and today he has no memory of those all-important tasks and that work that kept him away from his family. He only knows that he missed out on what mattered most to him, and he can never get it back. It's so important for us to just pause and just really value that time with people we love. That's really what matters most. Tip number 3, challenge your thinking about work. Look, the fact is that you're just not as important as you think you are. Sorry to break it to you. You see, when you're dead and gone, the world, it's gonna keep spinning on its axis and going around the sun. It really is. And someone's gonna step right into the job you have, and they're gonna continue the work. So when you're feeling really keyed up and anxious about not working, you know, when you try to take some time off and it's just a terrible experience for you, I want you to ask yourself, what's the worst thing that can happen if I don't go into work today? What's the worst thing that can happen if I don't respond to that email? Could you live with that? Would the world survive? I think it would. Tip number 4, and this is my favorite one. Create a new money mantra. So one of the most helpful things for me is a statement I wrote years ago, and it's a statement I wrote on a piece of paper that I carried with me for years, and I would read it to myself every single day. It goes something like this. I worked very hard today. I'm really happy with what I did. Now my wife, my children, and my health are actually more important to me. So I'm gonna stop working right now and I'm going to leave. No, seriously, I'm going to leave. So if you're a workaholic, put those 4 tips to work today in your own life. Look, life is short. We really need to savor the things that matter most. I know you can do it. If you want to learn more about money disorders, you can check out this video here. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And if you want to see more like it, please subscribe and click the bell so you don't miss anything. I'll see you next time.